Hey guys, I just got back from Cupertino and I broke into Apple's headquarters and I got a glimpse of the new AR headset. I don't think you guys are ready to see it, but this is a new Apple AR headset. Clearly an original prototype device. As you can see, it has the Apple logo on the front. It's supposed to do that. This was a separate piece. It's made from carbon aluminum. It was $800 per inch. Clearly, I'm kidding. It's not Apple's AR headset. It's my Oculus Rift 2 with an Apple sticker on the front of it. Looking at what this does and what it doesn't do is a good outlier to create a educated guess on what Apple would be doing. You can pinpoint the various technologies in something as simple as this. I used to have the initial Oculus Rift, the one with the sensors that you could put and connect via USB. That wasn't mobile. It needed to be plugged up to a thermonuclear device. But this moved to inside-out tracking, which is amazing. It has 4 cameras and accelerometers and gyroscopes, little sensors in there that feed to an SoC. An SoC is a system on a chip. System on a chips are Apple's bread and butter. Not so much initially till the advent of the A7 Bionic in the iPhone 5S. Apple severed the relationship with NVIDIA. Apple slowly pulled away from their reliance on NVIDIA's chips. NVIDIA's, in my opinion, best graphics manufacturer in the world. Nothing is touching RTX. Even if they're charging a premium for it, because they're monopolizing that market right now. Apple left them when they were having some issues back in 2013. Even at the time, Apple had already been working on its own. I don't think they were working on it, but they were focused on OpenCL. Apple killed their reliance on this massive manufacturer, and people looked at it like they were crazy. I think everything led up to them making their own SoC so they can basically do whatever the heck they wanted in that space. Even their reliance on Intel's chips were overheating. Apple looked and was not going to make the same mistake. So you see this, albeit a great device, insane power draw. After like 2 hours, it's dead. And that's being very gratuitous. If you have like a really graphically intense game, it's not going to last you 2 hours. Apple left NVIDIA, Apple left AMD, Apple left Intel to make their own chips. That's the product right there. The M1, M1 Pro, Ultra, and the M2 now. That, for me, is the secret sauce to a successful VR headset. The Apple headset's not going to look like this. Because this is ugly. More of a prophylactic. You put this on your head, and you look like you get no bitches. You can only wear this at home. If you wanted to do the pass-through, there's probably way too much latency to be able to walk through the city with this. And it's cute, but it's a game thing. It's not a fashion device. Now, my sunglasses, on the other hand, these go dark. They're UV sensitive, so they go dark outside. If there was a little thing on the side, like a little attachment where it could be there overimposed on top of these, that would be more fashion forward. As you can see, I'm a very stylish guy. So you should listen to me. All jokes aside, no one's going to wear it if it looks like that. If you have something that's little, portable on your face, it would be more likely to garner the attention of everybody in the world. Because of the low power draw, you would be able to have a device that would last dang near all day. Because of their importance or their persistence on camera quality, the pass-through of said device would be effortless. And also because of their expertise on screen quality, having a 5K screen. The M1 Pro on this MacBook can drive, I believe, 3 4K screens at up to 60 hertz each. So driving maybe 2 4K screens at 90 hertz on a device like this, or 120 hertz on a device like this, because they've had a lot of experience, even the iPhones now. Now, a lot of people are looking at it like It's going to be a gaming device. It's going to be for gaming. Not necessarily. Apple's never really targeted themselves as a gaming company. They have Apple Arcade, which is cool. Nice casual games. Are the M1 Ultras capable of running some of the newest modern titles at best fidelity? Absolutely. You would get a better reward from running the interface on the GPU. Or if you run macOS without hardware acceleration, because I've built Hackintoshes, there's one down there. When you run it without hardware acceleration, the user interface stops to a crawl. So a lot of people fail to realize the interface is the graphics card or the graphics chip, part of the SoC, is not primarily for running games. That's just a layman's way of looking at things. If you can use that to make a smoother experience, run the entire OS at 120 frames per second, run transitions, run camera operations with the aid of the GPU, it will make for a more seamless experience. And I think that's what lends credibility to a more engaging VR experience. Not getting that motion sickness that's usually associated with VR. It's most likely going to be something for augmenting your day-to-day life. Apple has a huge insistence on accessibility. I've seen visually impaired people tap their phones and listen and use their phones. They can't see. They can hear. So, however, what about people that can see but can't do much motor movement? They can see, they can use their eyes, so I believe it will have some sort of eye tracking, pupil tracking. That's a technology that already exists. It's not going to be so much of a nuance. It's just the way they will implement it will probably be the best. There's also foveated rendering, so saving graphics power and only rendering out parts of the graphical interface where the eyeball is looking at that time. So with foveated rendering, you look here, the rest of this in the game or the interface you're looking at is going to be rendered at a lower quality, so they can ramp up the quality of what you're looking at here where it's needed. Okay, the gesture control of the iPad, the gesture control of the MacBook, where you pinch, squeeze, swipe across the trackpad to control the interface, will easily carry over to the AR headset, simply because Apple knows you're familiar with these controls. So selling a secondary controller that you could potentially lose does seem like something Apple would do, but I think it'll be against their best judgment, and they would probably want to deal with something where you just wave your hand like magic. Because think about it, you tap your AirPods twice, they change the song. You touch your MacBook's power button and it powers on, but it scans your fingerprint at the same time. You look at your phone, it's unlocked. They love to indulge in magic of sorts. So if you try to carry that over, you could easily start to piece the puzzle together and realize the next AR headset from Apple, it's not going to be this ugly thing. It's going to be a piece of magic. They've worked with brands such as Hermes for the Apple Watch. This is not an Hermes Apple Watch, but it's literally became the most popular watch in the world, I believe. It's not a Rolex. They understand their place when it comes to fashion. They do consider themselves as a luxury item brand because, let's face it, they made $1,200 phones a thing. Everybody followed suit. Even from the initial iPhone, it was more expensive than other carriers were selling their iPhones. MacBooks were always overpriced. Now I think they're priced super well, actually, but they've always positioned themselves in a luxury space. This is not a luxury item. These straps are ugly. They stain easily. It's not a sustainable product. This stains easily versus something made completely out of aluminum, something that's much more lightweight, something that has ergonomics in mind. It will be most likely a very distinguishable silhouette because the iPhone is distinguishable. Even the Apple Watch, it's distinguishable. You can just look and know, oh, that's the Apple Watch. So the shape will not follow along the lines of something like this. Yeah, it's just my take. Not a lot of insight, but if you start to think and see how the pieces came together, we're most likely going to get a headset by the end of the year. at least announced, successfully announced headset by the end of the year. There's been an update on the computer. I got a 4090 now. 4090. So I have no excuse. I scratched my other game. I'm making Call of Duty African version from scratch now. I can do that. Hell yeah. DDR5 RAM. Don't talk to me. Ever. Just look. You're looking. Don't look at me. DDR5 RAM. It's 24 gigs of VRAM on my 4090 and about 16,000 CUDA cores. Just for comparison, my two 1080s had 1,200 CUDA cores. It was a paltry amount. Great for its time. But this, there's literally nothing I can throw at it. Upgraded to a 12700K i7 CPU. Great stuff. Monitor is the Samsung Odyssey G7. It's as good as it gets. There's OLED monitors, but I leave the screen on for so long. OLED would burn in and just waste my money. Always like the mini LED technology. You can see the LED spots, especially like on the iPad. It's still the same technology, mini LED, but is the closest thing to getting an illusion of OLED. The cooler. It's the Corsair H. I'm not really familiar with Corsair. I just know it's the one with the screen. But yeah, this is just a quick update and my thoughts on the AR headset from Apple. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for Niger Brawl. Still working on it. Almost done actually, but yeah. Catch you on the next one.